Let him prove that he has paid taxes, because he hasn't.
No, I don't regret that at all. The Koch brothers, no one would help me. They were afraid the Koch brothers would go after them. So I did it on my own.
So no regrets about Mitt Romney, about the Koch brothers? Some people have even called it McCarthyite.
Well, they call it whatever they want. Romney didn't win, did he?
All right, the ends justifying the means, and the smugness of that remark is just incredible. Welcome to hour number 3 of the Steve Malzberg Show. John Fund, Newsmax analyst, National Review foreign affair columnist, author of Obama's Enforcer, that was my Brooklyn coming out, Eric Holder's Justice Department. There it is on your TV screen. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you, Steve.
You wrote a great piece in National Review, how liberals are the new McCarthyites, and they're proud of it. I mean, and Harry Reid is the epitome of that.
Now, for your younger viewers, I'll update it. They may not remember Joe McCarthy, so I'll say even Frank Underwood at least wouldn't have been that candid about some of his methods.
Yep, absolutely.
So these are Underwood ethics. But Joe McCarthy was right about a lot of communists in government, but his tactics were deplorable, and he did go over the edge in smearing reputations. So ever since that, liberals have said, oh, the worst thing in the world in politics is to be a McCarthyite. What in the world is it to make something up in the middle of a presidential campaign, and you're the Senate Majority Leader, you're a figure of substance, and say some guy hasn't paid their taxes in 10 years and it's up to him to prove he has? Excuse me. And then to say the justification is, well, he didn't win. I mean, even by Washington standards, people were shocked.
And I want to get into other examples because it's certainly not limited to Harry Reid in that instance. But, you know, I've heard people say, at least a couple, that the Senate Ethics Committee should take this up now, especially after that answer. He's still a senator.
Well, what you say on the Senate floor is privileged. However, there are lots of Harry Reid land deals and lots of Harry Reid business things that they might want to take up. And, of course, they were never going to do that when he was Majority Leader, but now he's sort of, well, he's only half Majority Leader, because you can always see, you can see Chuck Schumer sort of leaning over to the camera every time there's a Harry Reid press conference.
Absolutely. All right, so talk about some of the other, Harry Reid alone went to the floor of the Senate time after time and read the riot act about the Koch brothers, just mocking them and un-American.
Well, you know, the liberals always hated the Un-American Activities Committee. Well, when you call someone un-American, you're aping that kind of behavior. And of course, let's talk about the pizza parlor in Indiana. This parlor didn't ask for any publicity. The local TV station knew it was run by Christians, so they went in there and said, well, what would you do about gay weddings? And they said, well, we'll serve anyone who comes in here. But if you're asking us to cater a gay wedding and sanctify that, put the imprimatur of our approval on it, we're just not going to do that. And they destroyed their business effectively. They've had to shut down. Now a lot of people are raising money for them, but there were death threats and everything else. That's a McCarthyite tactic, attacking someone simply because of their professed belief and destroying their business livelihood.
Is there a turning point in when this, you know, the left started to embrace this tactic?
It all goes back to Robert Bork. Ted Kennedy stood up on the Senate floor and said, if Robert Bork is confirmed, there will be women dying in back alleys because of botched abortions. People will have their civil rights destroyed. And he went on with a litany of horrors.
And then people started getting borked.
Yes, and everyone knew that what Kennedy was saying wasn't true. Everyone knew that even if you disagreed with Judge Bork, he didn't believe in any of that stuff. And it was just astonishing to see all of these high-minded liberals who believe in polite discourse, as long as people agree with them. They were silent because they wanted to kill Bork, and you know what? They did.
They did, and I guess in the end, that's their justification.
Bork didn't get confirmed.
Right. That's exactly like Reid with the justification. What's your take on Rand Paul announcing today?
Well, I thought he did a very impressive thing. I mean, he clearly is under pressure on his foreign policy views, and he basically repositioned himself. He said, I want to defend America. I'll do anything necessary to defend America, but I don't want a nation built. Now, he leaves a lot of questions as to exactly how far he would go after terrorists and what he would do about ISIS, but he's tapping into a deep vein of skepticism in America when he says, you know, we don't trust the government to run big programs. Should we trust them to really intervene abroad all the time? Because we all know that regardless of the intentions of what happened in Iraq and Afghanistan, it sure hasn't turned out as people expected.
And I like the way he started by saying, I'm here to take our country back. I think that was very effective.
Absolutely. And it was a very good debut.
Yeah. All right, John. Always good to see you, sir.
Thank you, Steve.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. And, of course, We're glad that John is with Newsmax. And check out the piece at nationalreview.com. Liberals are the new McCarthyites, and they're proud of it. It's so telling, and it really is insane that Harry Reid sat there with that smug laugh. All right, I want you to stay tuned for your Max to Health moment, but first, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring back our video caller segment. But unlike talk radio, you can't just call in when we're doing it. You have to register in advance. So if you go to call Steve at Newsmax.com, that's call Steve at Newsmax.com. Give us your name, your location, your phone number. We'll get in touch with you. We'll try to set it up, and you can participate, hopefully. We want to hear from you, so do it right now.